Today we're unboxing the PlayStation 5. Let's get into it. First, the box is huge, right?
It's so big. I don't even think anybody can see this.
I know, we're like hidden behind the box here.
But we're so excited.
So, like the box, I mean it's like Apple quality, but it's good packaging. So, got the unboxing knife, utility knife. Cut that across the top. This box is so big, it has a handle. Alright, so we got that up. Let's just lay this down. It says 825 gigs. So that's how much you have after the operating system and other essentials to run the OS.
Yeah, and it says 8K, 4K, HDR. Now 8K, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see
about that.
We don't have an 8K
to
TV.
Be seen.
Yeah, so we don't know what kind of performance it's gonna get on 8K, but it's exciting. So let's see what we got here. Okay, so it's got a box inside a box. All right, move that out of the way. And you got this box, PlayStation symbol on it. Got a pull tab.
Oh, I'm so excited!
It's got instructions. There you open that, and you open that. It says, pull this thing out. Ooh. We got
okay, hold on. So at the top here, let's just move this off to the side for a second. So at the top here, I assume we have our peripherals.
Yeah, let's see what we got
A nice
here.
little box here at the top.
You want to pull some of this stuff down?
We have your
Printed materials.
printed materials. Super important. Make sure you read those. What else do we have? We have the power cable.
Good.
Nice to not have a brick anymore.
Yeah, power bricks inside. What else we got in there?
Definitely nice. We'll save that
All right.
for last. Oh, okay. This is the stand. Cool.
Stand. So the stands for vertical and horizontal.
Yeah. Oh, that's the stand.
If you get the hardware teardown, where's the little Allen key? I guess.
I think you.
You flip that around. Little Allen key in there.
Nice.
Help you. I like that.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good design there.
Kind of rubbery. Not really soft rubber, so I guess it could scratch, maybe.
But that's nice, and it has like the little rubber pieces right there
little
too.
rubber pieces there. Not on the bottom though. They're like kind of like hard plastic. But
Yeah, nice.
see, it's that. Well, it's kind of got some like slide resistance to it.
And we have HDMI. Now this is 2.1.
Yep.
There's no marking, but definitely 2.1. So definitely use that.
Alright.
And I'm super excited to like touch this for the first time.
Then we got the Dualsense controller. In the videos, these look a lot bigger, but it's actually pretty good. It feels heavier than a.
Yeah, it does kind of look, I guess, smaller, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's got some heft to it.
But it's like a nice weight. It's not too heavy. It's not too light. Let's get rid of this one. See?
All right. So
yeah, and I feel the grippies. Now, there's supposed to be the PlayStation symbols, and I can kind of, I can see them.
You can see them?
Yeah.
You need is this like a vision test?
I would totally fail.
Yeah. What? Looks quality.
Yeah.
Triggers, these are supposed to be like resistant, like different resistance based on the game. It's like harder to push.
Yeah, I'm super excited about all the technology, and we'll do another video specifically for this, just to go into depth.
I just hit the PlayStation button. It has a little charge on it. The USB-C.
Yeah, I love the blue lighting.
All right, let's put that over there.
Now for the grand event.
Save the best for last.
Okay, I'll get one off of the side, you get the other.
Okay.
This is a team lift.
Team build, team lift.
Alright, hold on.
Alright, I'm gonna just.
Oh my goodness, I don't even know what to do with this.
Let me put this box down here. Alright.
Is it weird that I kind of like the little like
the egg crate
kind of thing?
Alright. Smells like new electronics.
Oh yeah.
Alright, let's take that out.
This is, like, I know I heard it's big, but...
It's pretty big.
It's big.
Beefy. Pretty heavy. Okay.
Wow.
There it is.
And actually, I do like that it's not
Bright white.
bright white. It's like a
grayish white.
A grayish white, and I don't hate it. I actually like it. And at first, I personally really did not like the design, but it kind of grew on me. And now that I see it in person, I actually like it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
definitely
better
looks
than
like
like a
some
plain box.
serious thought went into this design.
Yeah.
Maybe like the heat comes from here and just wafts out the top there.
Yeah.
We got PlayStation on there, little PlayStation.
Yeah, and then right here in the, I guess on this little insert here on.
Sorry about that. We lost the end of our PlayStation 5 unboxing footage, but we're going to get into the review right after this.
Sony hit the ground running when the PlayStation 1 came on the scene in 1994. It cast a shadow on its 32-bit console counterparts at the time and triggered Sony's rise to fame in the video game arena. The PlayStation 1 went on to be the first console ever to ship 100 million units. One of the main factors that led to the success of the PlayStation 1 was its library of games, and that has continued to be a big selling point into today. In 2000, the PlayStation 2 took things to the next level with its high-def 3D graphics, ability to connect online and play with your friends, and an integrated DVD player, which made it not just a game console, but entertainment device as well. In 2006, the PlayStation 3 was the first console to switch to Blu-ray discs, allowing for bigger games. It also made gaming more social, with integrated social gaming services. In addition, it introduced Wi-Fi connectivity and internal storage to its consoles. Its price, however, held its initial success back. In 2013, the PlayStation 4 hit a new milestone, being the first console to sell 100 million units in its first day. It ushered in HDR and with PlayStation 4 Pro 4K gaming. It also introduced the share button on DualShock 4, which allowed you to upload and share gameplay clips. Let's not forget its support for the PSVR. Now let's talk about the PS5, starting with the design. I have never really had an issue with Sony's PlayStation designs, but I never really was moved by any of them either. Now, if I'm being honest, I didn't initially like the design of the PS5 when I first saw it, but the more I looked at it, it grew on me. Sony really went outside the box here, literally, and at the very least made everyone talk about it, good or bad. I mean, I don't think the design itself would stop anyone from buying it. And once we started hearing that the panels might be swappable, even I got excited. Damien and I usually are early adopters when it comes to the PlayStation consoles, and I can't tell you how many cool special editions of the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro came out that we would like to have had. Although this hasn't been confirmed by Sony, gone might be the days of having FOMO when a new shiny design comes out. With the PS5 comes possibilities, the ability to possibly change the panels like you would change your phone case, and that's exciting. But enough of that. On to the elephant in the room. It's big. It comes in at 15.4 inches tall and 10.2 inches deep. You're definitely going to have some trouble figuring out where to put it. We certainly did. The PS5 has a sleek, glossy inner layer housing the I/O ports, fan vents, and internals. That's all sandwiched inside those two plastic off-white panels. On the front you have a USB Type-A and USB Type-C ports, along with the power and eject button. Ever since the PlayStation 4, I haven't been much of a fan of the hard-to-find, hard-to-touch buttons. It leaves something to be desired, and that doesn't change with the PS5. In the back you have two more USB Type-A 3.1 ports, an Ethernet port, HDMI out port, and the AC in connector. One thing of note is that the PS5 does not have an optical audio out port. For many, this is a non-issue. For us, though, we have multiple consoles and have a dedicated headset that goes into an optical switcher out to all our consoles. So with just a change of input, we can use one headset. So if you're like us, this might pose a problem. The PlayStation 5 comes with an included stand that allows you to place the console in either a horizontal or vertical orientation. While the design of the PS5 looks better without it, the stand is really required if you want the unit to be stable. Attaching the stand is pretty simple. It has an included screw, which is cleverly hidden in the stand itself and can be accessed by turning the base. Hook the base onto the back of the unit and fasten the screw to lock it in place. That's simple. And if you can't find that screwdriver, you can even use a coin you have lying around. And for those that are interested, we'll throw up the specs here.
Now on to UI design. The PS5's UI is an improvement upon the PS4's UI in design. Let's start with the home screen. The PS5's home screen consists of a long row of icons. The PS5's home screen is now a less cluttered, minimalistic design. The background changes for most apps and games you scroll to. When you select an icon, more information is displayed at the bottom of the screen. Media and apps are now separated out, having their own screen. In the game section, the PlayStation Store experience is much improved. The PlayStation Store is now integrated into the OS. It's not a standalone app anymore, which means the PlayStation Store now loads faster. Gone are the days for waiting for what seems like forever for the PlayStation Store to load. You also now get a personalized store experience, probably based on your store purchases and browsing history. The Explore icon, which is just to the left of the first game, you have an aggregate of information on your games. You can also get PlayStation news and details on current game sales. Below the news section, you get a selection of live broadcasts of games recommended for you. Then the last row, a selection of video recommendation of the games that you like to play. Tapping the PlayStation button on the home screen brings up the control center, where you find media you have captured. The media will be a card in the control center. You can edit the media here or just share it out. You can share images and videos to supported external services such as Twitter, or you can send it directly to one of your parties, or you can just send it to a friend. You can also attach a quick message. You can draft a message either by typing it with the on-screen keyboard or using the Dualsense microphone and built-in dictation support. If the player you're sending the image or media to hasn't played that section of the game captured in the media, and the game developer thinks that the activity might contain spoilers, the recipient will get a warning message before they view the message. In the media section of the home screen, you get all the main streaming apps such as Netflix, Amazon, Disney+, YouTube, and Hulu. Further down, you'll get featured content on the various media apps. The settings area is not as concise and easy to navigate as the home screen. It requires more effort to figure out where things are. From the settings menu, you can change settings for items such as adjustments to the Dualsense haptic feedback intensity, what performance presets you want for games, either performance or resolution mode, and storage management. However, many of these features are lumped together in the settings area, and it will take some getting used to figure out where to find them. Now, the control center in-game UI you can get to by pressing the PlayStation button in-game, and that'll bring up the PS5 control center. This allows you to access information that was typically only available on the home screen without having to leave the game. You can see what your friends are playing, jump to other games, start a group chat, or quickly pick up where you left off in your current game. Activities are a feature in Control Center. Activities are displayed as cards on screen in the Control Center. You can access help videos and cards that tell you more about the current level you are playing or what objectives you have to complete. Some of the cards will give you an estimate of how long it takes to complete a level. Other cards can include game help videos that can be put in a picture-in-picture mode that is viewable while you play. The game help videos from those activity cards are a benefit for PlayStation Plus members. This is on a game-by-game basis. Control Center Party Mode allows you to chat with friends while you're playing or watch their gameplay while you play your game. activities on PS5 make it easier to hop back into gameplay. Online multiplayer from Control Center activities allows you to join matches if supported by the game. A replacement for the PS4's share button is the create button that allows you to snap screenshots or record gameplay clips at certain lengths. Pressing the PlayStation button during gameplay can bring up the switcher option that allows you to switch between games without going back to the home screen.
To me, this is what truly makes the PS5 next gen, the Dualsense wireless controller. Our first experience with it was playing Astro's Playroom, which is the game included with the system and serves as a demo for the new Dualsense features. The next level haptics and introduction of adaptive triggers gives you a level of immersion that you really need to experience to grasp. The controller almost feels alive in your hands. As you're walking along in Astro's Playroom, Astro comes in contact with different surfaces and each one provides a unique feel in the controller, from walking in grass to walking on a metal surface. It really is amazing and pleasantly unexpected. And the adaptive triggers. First off, the triggers are longer and wider than they were on the DualShock 4. This allows for better grip and finger placement, which adds to the overall experience of the DualSense controller's new features. In Astro's Playroom, when Astro is pulling, climbing, or about to slingshot himself to the next platform, you feel the tension and resistance build up, which really simulates how it would feel in real life. I mean, with this level of immersion, it feels like the controller is Astro and you are physically controlling the little guy. It's awesome. In other games, such as Spider-Man Miles Morales, you benefit from these new features as well. For example, as Miles swings through the city, you experience tension in the triggers, and when he's about to throw his Venom punch, you feel energy moving through the controller. Although more subtle than Astro's Playroom, it gives a nice level of immersion that makes the game that much better. I really hope that developers continue to take advantage of these features, but we will have to wait and see about that. If it's anything like the touchpad introduced on the DualShock 4, it might fall by the wayside, and that would be a real shame. The design of the controller has changed as well. The DualSense is bigger and heavier than its predecessor. And usually that would be a bad thing, but it really gives a nicer, more natural feel in your hand, especially with its longer, thicker grips. The button layout is pretty much the same here, but the buttons and D-pads are now clear instead of opaque. And I like it. It gives it a more premium look. The texture on the back has more grip as well, and I tend to have sweaty hands during gameplay, so that's definitely a big help. A couple changes here is the Create button, which takes the place of the Share button from the DualShock 4. This will bring up a menu that will allow you to take screenshots, video clips, or to start a new recording. You also have a built-in mic and mic mute button. Having a mic built into the controller makes chatting with your friends easier without the need of a headset, but not a good replacement for one. The mic is also used in games like Astro's Playroom as another level of immersion. The mic mute button itself has some nice features as well, allowing you to quickly mute the mic of the controller or the headset, and if you press and hold the button, you can mute all sound coming from the system. The Dualsense has switched from micro USB to a USB Type-C port, so you have that at the top for charging, and gone is the DualShock 4's light bar. You still have the built-in speaker, and to me the quality is slightly better than its predecessor. And the 3.5mm jack is still available if you want to plug in a headset. It also has better battery life, getting an estimated 11 to 12 hours of gameplay, which is pretty good based on all the features packed inside, but still not great. The two-tone color scheme looks cool and matches the console. However, I feel like the off-white color is going to show some wear after a while. But overall, this really is a great controller. The Dualsense has a more ergonomic design, which makes it feel comfortable in your hands, especially for extended gameplay. And with its upgraded haptics and adaptive triggers, it really brings a level of immersion never experienced before, and that's what makes it a game changer.
Let's take a look at gameplay in games. Playing the pack-in game Astro's Playroom was a real treat. It is an excellent demo of how the new features of the DualSense controller can be showcased. Like Michelle mentioned, in one part of the game you can feel the differences in the surfaces that Astro is walking on via the new haptic actuators built into the controller. In another area, you get
a tutorial on how to use the adapter triggers that you eventually use in-game in various ways to complete challenges. It really adds an extra layer of immersion and interaction to the gameplay. Astro's Playroom isn't the most graphically challenging game with its CGI-esque looking visuals, but it's still a very excellent game presentation. Playing Spider-Man Miles Morales is a glimpse of what the next-gen hardware can really do. You have the option of choosing between Performance Mode, which gives you smoother 60 FPS gameplay but turned down visuals, or conversely, you can pick Fidelity Mode and turn up the visuals to include ray tracing and more detailed textured graphics at a locked 30 FPS. Choosing between the modes will be up to the player's preference. Performance versus graphical fidelity is something that PC gamers have always had for years, and it's nice to see this in consoles. It was there in the PS4 Pro to an extent, and now even more so with the PS5. The haptics in the Dualsense are on showcase again when Miles Morales uses his web shooters to sling around New York City. Some games will support 4K 120 frames per second, and in the future some less graphically intense games may hit 8K 60 frames per second. Some games like Marvel's Avengers support dynamic resolution scaling, which means resolution will downscale from 4K in some instances to keep a steady frame rate. The story with launch titles on the PS5 is that there aren't that many games. However, it's usually like that with most new console launches. There are launch titles worth playing, however, like the aforementioned Astro's Playroom and Spider-Man Miles Morales. If you haven't played some of the greatest games from the PS4 era, you can play them here on PS5 while you wait for the PS5's catalog to fill out. Titles such as Uncharted: A Thief's End and 2018's Marvel's Spider-Man. Backwards compatibility with PS4 games is said to be at 99% of the PS4 game catalog. A few PS2 and PS3 games are available to play on PS5 via Sony's PlayStation Now cloud gaming subscription service. If you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber, you can have a selection of 20 free games from last gen to play on your PS5 via the PlayStation Plus collection. Transferring PS4 games can be done by getting some select titles from the PlayStation Plus collection, or inserting your PS4 disc into the PS5's disc drive and downloading the game, if you have the disc version of the PS5 that is. You can transfer your PS4 games via Wi-Fi or Ethernet. What we did was save Michelle's Horizon Zero Dawn game saves from the PS4 Pro to a USB thumb drive, then installed Horizon Zero Dawn in the PS5's SSD. Next, we copied the game save from the USB to the PS5's game console storage. However, due to the limited space on the PS5 SSD, we would recommend transferring your PS4 games to an external USB SSD to use with your PS5.
Now, another thing that really makes this system feel next-gen is its move from HDD to SSD storage, making load times much quicker, some basically being non-existent, like the fast travel subway sequences in Spider-Man. Astro's Playroom was the first game we loaded up, and while I was sitting there waiting to play, I realized that the game was actually waiting on me. That was definitely a new and welcoming experience. As Damien mentioned, one of the games I was really looking forward to moving over to the PS5 was Horizon Zero Dawn. I used to constantly complain about its load times on the PS4 Pro. While the game didn't get enhanced for the PS5, just being able to load it off the SSD once I transferred it over really put a smile on my face. Here are some examples of games loading on the PS5. Sony is using its own proprietary SSD here, and although the box says it has 825 gigabytes free storage, that ends up being about 667 gigabytes usable storage, only leaving enough room for about 12 to 16 games depending on their size. So you're going to want to pick and choose what games you transfer over from the PS4 to save room for those PS5 game titles, or like Damien mentioned, use an external USB SSD drive. Sackboy: A Big Adventure and Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Launch Edition combined take up 137 gigabytes. Now, you'll be able to pop off one of the panels and install a third-party M.2 SSD in the future, but currently there are no Sony-approved SSDs on the market, and they will likely be on the pricier side. A quick note in regards to PSVR support. While the PlayStation 5 does support the PSVR, it doesn't work with the new HD camera that is launching alongside the PS5. If you want to use your PSVR on the PlayStation 5, you have to go on to Sony's website and request a free camera adapter to connect the PS4 camera to the system. Link to the site will be in the description below. You will also be able to bring over your DualShock 4, PS Move motion controllers, and the PlayStation VR aim controller, but they will only work for PS4 game titles. Sony has been a little vague on what VR support on the PS5 will look like in the future. There is currently no word on if new PSVR games are coming to the PS5, and a new PSVR headset seems to have been put on the back burner for now. We will have to wait and see, but a next-gen PSVR headset would definitely take advantage of the PlayStation 5's high-end specs.
Now time for final thoughts. With its futuristic design, super fast SSD, and the Dualsense's game-changing next-level immersion, this console really screams next-gen. Then there's the inclusion of 3D audio on the PS5. This is excellently represented in Astro's Playroom. For more on PS5 3D audio, see our review of the Sony Pulse 3D wireless headset. The link is in the video description. Sony really pulled out all the stops here, and there is a lot of potential for the future. Our hope is that the game developers really embrace what Sony has done here and take full advantage of its features and the power to deliver the next-gen experience. From our very first experience with Astro's Playroom, it really opened our minds to what gaming can be going forward, and we can't see it being any other way. We want to feel like we are part of the game, and this console gives you that experience. From getting into the action quicker with the fast load times, to more realistic graphics with ray tracing, to the level of immersion you experience with the DualSense controller. And like many PlayStation consoles from the past, the game library is yet another big selling point here, with its console exclusives. While there are limited titles at launch, the titles that are available are solid, giving you an enticing look at what is to come. The in-game control center features are also a nice addition that keeps you in-game and adds a lot of functionality. There are some downsides though. Although the SSD provides super fast load times, its limited storage and larger game sizes in this console generation is going to require you to be more judicious on how much free space you have left and which games you have on your SSD. There have been many early reports of technical problems, but Sony has already been at work to fix those with some patches since launch. So while we definitely think this will be a buy, don't feel bad if you can't grab one right away due to the limited supply. Many of the games are also available on PS4, and if you want to improve load times on your PS4, swap out the hard drive for an affordable SSD. Many of them go for a lot lower prices than they did at launch when SSDs first came out. At some point though, future game releases are only going to be available on PS5, and if game developers continue to take advantage of the PS5's next-gen features to give you that next level of immersion, we think many of you are going to want to pick one up in the future.
Alright, so after all that, Damien, what score do you give it?
Well, I'm gonna give it an 8, and that's because the SSD is 825 gigabytes. After the OS and everything you need to run the system, you get 667 gigs. And there's no word on any of the third-party SSDs that is going to be available for the expansion slot. And the super fast hard drives are probably going to be expensive, so you might be spending, $400 for 2 terabytes of the super fast SSD, and that's a lot of games you can fit on there, but then you're going to be paying the price of a whole nother console. But I mean, I'm probably going to do it, but that's going to be expensive. But I am really excited with the speed, the way the games load, and the way the games look. So I'm giving it 8 out of 10 at this time.
Okay. Alright, well.
What is your score,
please.
Michelle?
I am giving it a 9.
Oh.
Yeah. Really, I really feel like this console is next gen.
Right.
And I haven't really felt that way since the Wii, right? When you had the motion controllers and that sort of thing. And it really brought like a next level feature that you've never experienced.
Yeah, a new way to play, yeah.
And the Dualsense controller alone, I mean, just how we experienced it in Astro for the first time with the demo, I mean, it was just kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, it really was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to see what the developers are going to do. If it's anything like the touchpad on the DualShock 4, it kind of went down by the wayside, so I'm really hoping that doesn't happen with this, because these features truly are unique and enjoyable.
Yeah, and I heard that Naughty Dog, you know, the makers of the Uncharted games, they were in on the Astros or got to demo it, and so maybe they'll integrate that in a new Uncharted game, and you know, some other developers, you know, might take advantage of that as well, so it'll all be baked in. So yeah, that's a good point.
That would be awesome. And a 9 instead of a 10, again, like you said, the SSD.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really hard to get a good amount of games on there. I mean, I see us having to delete games off the system as we're completing them, and we never really had to quite do that before.
Right.
So that's my score. That's what I give it.
Okay.
So that's what we thought. Let us know what you think in the comments below.
Yeah, in the comments, yeah.
And if you like this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because we have a lot of good videos coming, like our Xbox Series X review.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a showdown between this guy and the Xbox Series X.
Yeah,
so look
stay
out for
tuned
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, see you in the next one.
All right, guys, bye.